Can someone survive in Singapore on $0 or sail to Pulau Ubin on bags of potato chips? Well, ideas like these turned into videos has bagged 2 awards at the recent Mediacorp Pinwheels 2025 Awards. Michael Collins of bigchunkks took the prize for Best Newcomer and also Most Innovative Video. And he joins us tonight with Diogo Martins, who is lead at Bloomr.SG, Mediacorp's content creator network, who is behind the Pinwheels. Michael and Diogo, welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Michael, let's start with you. First of all, congratulations on both awards. Now, you won Best Newcomer and also Most Innovative Video. We know one of them is of you kind of paddling on a raft of potato chip bags to Pulau Ubin. Can you tell us more about what inspires you to come up with these ideas?
Wow, I think when it comes to video ideas, there's kind of 2 ways that I get ideas. One is from stuff I see online. So if I see something that someone has done, which looks fun, I can't help but want to do it myself. So that's the first. But I think a lot of my ideas really just come from what I like to call like my intrusive thoughts. So they tend to always come at 4 a.m. at me when I'm trying to sleep. So the potato chips example, that's something that just kind of hit me in the random middle of the night. But from there, I like to think that everyone has these type of ideas, but rather than dismiss them, I tend to just embrace them and try to think, is it really possible or is it just like a pipeline dream?
Yeah, you tend to execute them, and then in a way people are intrigued because they're thinking, I would love to try this to find out the outcome, but I'm not going to do it on my own, but you've done it.
People should.
Another video also that has really taken off, that has actually won the award, is about homelessness and going about your life in Singapore on $0. Can you tell us a bit about that as well?
Yeah, so I was quite surprised to hear this, but if you check online, Singapore has often been regarded as the most expensive city in the world. So I was kind of surprised about this, and I thought to really embrace that, once again, I'll challenge myself by trying to survive 3 days there on $0. And I think that's kind of the spark of the idea, but after that, you kind of need to learn how to package it well. So that's where I was like, okay, to make it more interesting, I'm sure everyone could survive, but to make it more interesting, we challenge ourselves by however much money we could make over those 3 days will be all I'll get to spend on a date at the end. So make it kind of interesting for the viewers as well.
Yeah. So how do you think then, after winning these 2 awards, how do you think Bloomr.SG is going to be able to enhance your content creation?
Wow, I think I've been very fortunate I've had Bloomr reach out to me about 4 or 6 months ago through Kevin, or as most people know him, Lion City Boy. And it's been an incredible help because I was very surprised when he reached out because he told me he doesn't really want anything. All he wants is to help me continue making my crazy dreams into videos. And just recently, I'm actually trying to trade a 10-cent coin into a car in Singapore right now.
Wow.
That's my next video. And he was immediately reached out and said, hey, I have a friend who's a car dealer, and let me link you guys up and you guys can work it out. And yeah, just apart from that, I've spoken to Diogo for about 20 minutes just waiting outside, and it's been so much help just telling me about every issue that I've been facing. He knows someone that's already faced that and how they overcame it.
Yeah.
So I think they just have a wealth of knowledge and experience that is really helpful.
Diogo, let's bring you in now. After listening to Michael's process, how do you think Bloomr.SG is actually helping not just Michael, but other content creators that have won or those who have participated improve their process?
So we awarded 3 awards that come with some repercussions, right? For him specifically, he gets an exclusive contract with Bloomr that we then work throughout the year to try to figure out what's the best way that we can help him reach his ideas, right? The other 2 are more direct, which is just production grants that we basically try to finance future content, right? So the idea is, with Michael, objective is to give him as much support, as many resources, and as much infrastructure as necessary for him to create as many crazy videos as he can throughout the year.
Yeah. Now, this is also the 4th year of Pinwheels. Have you seen the content creators and the types of videos that have come up evolve over time? How would you say things have changed?
Yeah. So last time I was here, I think I was trying to figure out what would be the thing that has changed the most consistently throughout every year. And I think the one that has for sure is the quantity and the quality per creator. So it then makes our job is a lot more difficult going through the content and trying to figure out how that has evolved, right? So hopefully that's what most content creators for the future do, which is consistently and having a better cadence of the best content that they can produce.
Now, Michael, how do you think your skills for content creation are going to improve after this competition? I imagine also seeing the other participants and having access to networks and contacts also help you in your journey ahead.
I hope that with them, they enable me to go for even crazier dreams. So I'm hoping they're going to be great enablers. And I think, apart from that, I think that they have the experience to really guide me and help me to post more consistently. Because I think that's something that I've kind of struggled with. But it's something that I think a lot of content creators have struggled with. And they are very experienced with helping them overcome those barriers. Yeah, so I'm hoping that works out.
Yeah, speaking of other content creators, Diogo, how do you think Singapore content creators compare with their global counterparts? How do you think the content here is a little bit different or similar to everyone else around the world?
I think because of the nature of the social media platforms that people like Michael and everyone else works, they tend to veer towards the same type of content, right? The one that works with the algorithm, works to the audience, right? And basically gives us direction on how to optimize the content and how to make it better to get as many people watching it as possible. I do think that Singapore is still trying its best to come up in everyone's feeds over bigger international players, right? Difficult for someone with a small audience to compete with someone that has tens of millions of followers. But we're getting there. The creative ideas are getting better. They're starting to pop up everywhere. And hopefully that's the objective of not just Bloomr, but the entire creator economy in Singapore, is to highlight these talents and basically give them a business model for the future.
And speaking of creative ideas, Michael, what do you think, if you were to put your finger on it, what do you think really gets the people who are viewing interested in your content? What do you think is the secret formula, if you will?
I think for me, when I started this whole content creation journey, my aim is always to do things that people would have otherwise thought was impossible. So for example, building a boat out of potato chips. I've had multiple people tell me that when they saw it, they thought it was clickbait. Like they thought someone was just using that as a hook to draw you in, but they won't really do it. And I think that's always, like, I treat it as a compliment if people feel that way about my content. So yeah, I think that's ultimately the main thing I try to inspire in people when they watch my videos. Yeah.
So what's next for you? What can we expect? What's the next crazy idea from Michael?
I don't want to give away too much because I love to surprise viewers and stuff. But as I said, I think the next project, which I'm currently in the midst of, will be potentially my craziest one yet, where I trade a 10-cent coin into a car in Singapore. Because we all know how much seaweed costs here.
All right, stay tuned for that, everyone. Well, Michael, Diogo, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing about your experiences. I've been chatting today about the Pinwheels Award by Mediacorp with Michael Collins from bigchunkks and Diogo Martins, who is lead at Bloomr.SG.